Hello, social studies candidates. Some of you have asked about posting for Travels with Charley and the logistics involved in that. So this is a screencast-o-matic screencast that will hopefully clear up any questions we have about the posting process. So we'll be working in my classes. Just log in as normal. Go into ELED 313. And I will enter student view, so hopefully we're looking at the same thing that you would look at. You may notice here that there's been some stuff added to our homepage. The Maryland content standards are up now. I've posted PDF versions of those, including the cheat sheet that gives the quick breakdown of the standards. This is the same document that you have in your folders. There are also separate PDFs for the 6 content areas that you are required to teach in the state of Maryland for social studies. These are economics, geography, history, people and nations of the world, political science, and social studies, skills, and processes. These are from the MSDE website that's listed right here, and if you visit that website you can get some more information on these standards. So when I was reading pages 1 through 16, part 1 of Travels with Charley, one thing that stood out to me was on page 11 when Steinbeck is talking about his choices that went into packing his truck Roquenant for his journey. And when I was reading this, I thought that this had something to do with economics, maybe decision making, because it struck me that John Steinbeck was talking about his needs versus his wants. What did he want to take versus what did he need to take? So I thought this was an economics topic. So I'm just going to click on economics here, and it downloads the economics standards document, and I already have it open here. And we can see the standards for teaching economics in the state of Maryland from grades pre-kindergarten through 8. You may be surprised to learn that there is economics required to be taught in pre-kindergarten. You can see that the standards that you have to teach in pre-K are not as extensive as the standards that you have to teach in other grades. We would expect that, but they are present nonetheless. So when I was thinking about needs and wants and the decisions that went into his choices involved in packing his truck, I was really thinking about this term down here, economic decision making. Describe economic choices people make about goods and services. Identify and discuss goods and services provided in the community. This one was a really good one. Explain how getting something one wants may mean giving up something in return. We could also see how this could fit identify situations where people make choices. I was really going to stick with this, explain how getting something one wants may mean giving up something in return, because Steinbeck was talking about the limited amount of space in his truck. For our purposes, I don't need to copy the standard. What's really important is that this standard comes from grade level 1. So I now know that I am thinking about this little snippet, this little excerpt from Travels with Charley in terms of teaching economics at grade 1. So I go back into our My Classes page. On the left-hand bar, we can see a link, My Groups, and I have added myself as a student for the purposes of this demo to Travels with Charley Group 1. Here you should see a link to whatever group you've been assigned. Travels with Charley Group 2, Group 3, and so forth. Clicking on that, we have the options to go to the group discussion board, send an email, see the home page. You can customize the banner, customize your color, etc. Sending an email will send an email to your group members, but what we're really going to focus on here is the group discussion board. So when we click on the discussion board here, we can see that there's a forum that's been provided for us called First Posting, and here's the description for that forum. Identify at least one Maryland content standard from the reading section assigned for your date. Post that standard, the grade level, and 3 to 5 sentences explaining your choice. So if I was responsible for making my first posting for this Thursday, I would click on this, create thread. I can put in my subject, economics first grade, and I've already typed my post into Microsoft Word. I just like doing my word processing in a separate document, so I'll just copy it and paste it into here, but you are welcome to type yours directly into my classes if you want. So we can see what I've written here. Economics for first grade. On page 11, Steinbeck talks about the decisions he made when packing his truck. I thought that this related to economics for first grade because it deals with the choices that people have to make. Steinbeck had to choose what to take with him. There was a limited space, and he could not take all the things he wanted to. Also, it sounds as though he was upset with some of his choices, which reminds me of times when we buy things that aren't really necessary. So I could continue and add more to that, but for the purposes of our assignment, that's really enough. Here we see an option to attach a file, and as we move into the second and third posting, this will be useful in terms of sharing resources that you are asked to include. But for the first posting, we don't really need that. So we'll come over here and click Submit. Should also say, make sure that you do spell check on that. All right. So there is the first post, and we can see that would have your name where it says demo user. So let's say that I'm in the demo users group and I need to respond to this. I simply click on that thread, I can read it, and I can type a reply. So there could be a reply. That would probably be sufficient. More detail would always be nicer, but for our purposes that should be okay. Again, here's an option to attach a file. Then we can just click Submit. A couple of things that we also might want to look at for this forum. If we go up to Forum First Posting, here's grading information. So your contributions here are graded. There are 2 rubrics that are available to you. And they should be viewable, but I'm not sure how to do that, I guess. But we can look at that. So you can see for this form it's going to be out of 3, then for the next one it's 4.5, and then for the third posting it's up to 7 points of your final grade. So that's how we get to the 20 points for the Travels with Charley contributions. Then there is also an option which I would suggest that you do, which is to subscribe. So if you click that button, you have subscribed to the forum, and all that means is that when someone posts something, you will get an update. So this is the best way to keep tabs on when your colleagues post and when you can give them their information. So if we go back over to the left-hand bar and click on Group Homepage, this is where we see the group members. And as I said in class, we'll just be moving in order. So for this group, Carly will post the first one, then Carissa will be responsible for the subsequent post, Elizabeth after that, and then Alicia. And then for the second posting, when you have to go a little bit more in depth about a topic that you find from the reading, we'll just go back in the order again. For Carly first, then Carissa, Elizabeth, Alicia, and then the same for the third. If you have any questions, you can email me, axpope@salisbury.edu, or we can talk about them in class on Thursday. Thanks.